Welcome to Spillhood, the home of real talk, raw stories, and the truth Hollywood tries to bury. Today we're diving into the wild world behind Katt Williams, the comedian who turned the whole industry upside down with nothing but his voice and the courage to speak what others won't. Katt Williams has always been the kind of person who refuses to stay silent, and that's exactly why the industry gets so tense around his name. From small comedy clubs in the early 2000s to interviews that broke the internet, Katt built a reputation for exposing secrets that powerful figures never wanted public. He didn't just tell jokes, he shook rooms, and every time he talked, somebody important started sweating.
Oh, these guys are wearing dresses. And everybody's like, oh, he keeps talking about people wearing dresses. No, it's not.
That is a weird thing.
It's not like that. Look at it from a different way. Look at it. Show me one person that ever wore a dress in Hollywood unsuccessfully. That's how you understand what a ritual is.
But now Dave Chappelle has always been funnier than me. And Chris Rock has always been funnier than me. I've always been aware of who was funnier than me. I've just also been aware of who wasn't. So now I know the real Bernie Mac stories, and I know that the people that made money off Bernie Mac didn't like him. They hated his guts.
Twitter beef with this guy, Katt Williams, that Katt Williams starts saying things to this fake Dave Chappelle that's hurting the real Dave Chappelle's feelings. So I go to the comedy show, and I see Kevin Hart there. I'm like, what's up, Kevin? And he's like, yo, man, Katt.
Hollywood realized fast that Katt wasn't playing by their script. He went toe-to-toe with some massive names: Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Kevin Hart, and every clash made his voice louder. And one moment changed everything forever. He stood his ground and refused to join a project he believed disrespected his community. He looked producers straight in the face and said, "You're not going to get a real black man to go against another." That statement became a turning point. From that day on, Katt wasn't just a comedian. He was a force shaking the whole system. The sharp suits, the diamond chains, the fearless energy, everyone saw the style. But behind the lights, he was carving a whole new lane that nobody else had the courage to walk. Nobody else had the courage to step into that lane the way Katt Williams did. While other comedians chased movie deals and approval from the big studios, Katt was out here exposing the darker side of Hollywood with no fear. By the mid-2000s, he wasn't just cracking jokes. He was becoming a real truth teller who made the industry uncomfortable every time he touched a microphone. There's a story from a huge comedy event where the whole room was packed with major celebrities, whispering, "Is Katt Williams really pulling up tonight?" Then someone pointed across the room and said, "He's right there." The tension and respect hit instantly. People knew the energy shifted the moment he walked in. For years, Katt openly spoke about how the industry takes advantage of black talent, saying Hollywood rewards obedience and punishes anyone who stands strong and independent. He talked about gatekeepers, secret meetings, and how the system tries to silence anyone who refuses to play along. So when a reporter once asked if he was scared of getting blacklisted, he just laughed and said, "What do you mean, again?"
Katt Williams, Black Tree. Take one up one.
Your fans have a difference of opinion.
But Dave Chappelle was decapitated in front of us. And until we deal with that, until we deal with the fact that a devout Muslim who doesn't eat bacon was accused of being a crackhead, until we establish the fact that they said that he went to Africa to smoke coke when we know they don't have running water in.
That line shook the whole room. His words cut deeper than punchlines. They were warnings disguised as comedy. Audiences laughed, but they also felt the truth hidden underneath every joke. Instead of listening, the media flipped the script on him. They labeled him unstable, controversial, difficult to work with. Shows like Saturday Night Live turned him into a parody, mocking his voice and his swag. Katt saw it for what it was, a strategy to discredit him and block the real message he was trying to spread. And whenever he wasn't calling out the whole system, he was going straight at other stars with no hesitation. Katt Williams even called out Steve Harvey, accusing him of taking material from another comedian. Katt claimed Steve cared more about building his media empire than protecting originality. And when he said it, comedy circles exploded with debate. Fans split into two sides instantly. But Katt never flinched. He was never scared to challenge the powerful, no matter the consequences. And even with all that pressure around him, Katt never lost his humor. He once joked about growing up broke on Halloween, saying his costume was always the same every year, just a brown box his mom grabbed from the liquor store. That type of raw honesty mixed with comedy is what made him unforgettable. People looked at Katt in different ways. Some thought he was too confrontational, but others saw straight-up courage. To them, he wasn't trying to stir drama. He was standing up for integrity, comedy, and respect. Critics called him reckless, but his supporters called him fearless. Someone brave enough to speak out loud what everybody else only whispered. By the late 2000s, Katt Williams wasn't just another entertainer. He had turned into a full-blown lightning rod for controversy. Part performer, part truth-teller, part agitator shaking the system. He used Hollywood's own spotlight to reveal its darker corners, and his jokes were way more than punchlines. They were warnings about corruption, hypocrisy, and the double standards buried underneath the glamour. And that was just the beginning.
We are against the Illuminati, and we are against the Illuminati at our own detriment. When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them. End quote.
We all love Dave Chappelle.
Exactly. Dave Chappelle has never been a part of the Illuminati. They don't want him or me or people like us.
Yeah.
But now it's not necessary for us to stir up that hornet's nest unless we intend to get stung 1,000,000 times. I didn't understand that. They had to sting me 1,000,000 times. Right. I'm still not going to join. But
Once Katt started calling out the biggest names in Hollywood, the volume got way louder. These weren't small disagreements. These were full-on battles against giants like Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, and Kevin Hart. And every clash exposed how Katt viewed the whole industry. A system designed to protect a powerful few while silencing everyone else who dares to challenge it. Fans were stunned when Katt accused Oprah of using her power to shut down voices she didn't agree with, even claiming she tried to block opportunities for rapper 50 Cent. Katt believed Oprah's influence stretched way beyond television, deciding who rises and who gets pushed out in Hollywood. None of it was ever proven, but the reaction was instant. Some people felt Katt was exposing real secrets hiding in plain sight, while others said he was stirring chaos just to shake the room. Then came the war of words with Tyler Perry. Katt accused Perry of favoritism and making secret deals that locked certain actors out of opportunities. He even suggested Perry's control came from insecurity, arguing that his success came at the cost of true integrity and creativity. Katt once joked that Tyler Perry could play an amazing woman, but not a man to save his life. And that line echoed through the industry with shock. But the tension that never faded was the one with Kevin Hart. Katt claimed Hart took roles that were originally meant for him and that Hollywood picked Hart to be the safe face of black comedy. Someone who wouldn't ever push back against the system. Kevin stayed calm through it all, brushing it off and saying he was satisfied with his success. But to Katt, that silence was proof. Confirmation that Hollywood rewards compliance and punishes truth-tellers. And who could forget when Kevin Hart said this about Katt Williams? Katt Williams did not hold back when it came to firing back. He went straight at the topic with full energy. Kevin Hart once explained in an interview that if anyone had a real issue with him, they could easily talk it out behind closed doors. He said the problems people claimed to have with him weren't his problems to fix. But to Katt Williams, that statement proved everything he had been saying for years. Hollywood celebrates the ones who play it safe and pushes aside the ones who dare to speak the truth.
Def Comedy Jam 25. It's good to see so many funny people together in one room, all wondering the same thing. Is Katt Williams gonna show up?
Nervous as hell right now.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, he's right there.
There he is.
I didn't know he was right there. Nigga, I would not have said that if I had said it right.
Yeah.
Not used to quiet, introspective Katt Williams.
No.
Well, let me ask you this. When have you ever seen this many heavy hitters all together at the same time? Yeah. In the same room? Yeah.
That's right.
Every one of these clashes pointed to the same battle, Katt Williams versus the Hollywood establishment. Whether it was Oprah allegedly using her influence, Tyler Perry running a tight empire where only certain people got access, or Kevin Hart being positioned as the industry's gatekeeper, Katt saw himself as the lone voice, shining a light on everything happening in the shadows. And the more he spoke out, the more the industry, and even his own peers, started getting nervous about what he might reveal next. And if anyone needed proof that Katt never backed down from confrontation, his long-running tension with Steve Harvey and Cedric the Entertainer said it all. Both were legends in the comedy world, praised through the original kings of comedy, sitcom fame, and talk shows. But Katt wasn't impressed at all. To him, they represented everything broken in the industry. Shortcuts, recycled jokes, and perfectly polished public images that didn't match the truth. Things exploded when Katt claimed both Harvey and Cedric had admitted in private that they borrowed material from other comedians but refused to say it out loud. Cedric denied the entire story, saying Katt should have spoken up years ago if it was real. But that denial only made Katt push harder. He doubled down, saying Cedric even used one of his jokes in the original Kings of Comedy performance. Cedric brushed it off like old news, but Katt wasn't letting it fade away. He once said, "No one truly understands why liars lie."
Dave Chappelle was decapitated in front of us. They called him Pilot Boy because he had 19 pilots in Hollywood and everybody passed on him and said his show wasn't worth it. Then when he made $500 million, they said even though his contract said he should get half of it, they said he made too much for the contract to be valid, so we'll offer you 10% of what you made. You mean he made $500 million and they offered him 50? Yes. And he said, what do you think my fans are gonna say when they find out you offered me 10% of what I made you? And they said, your fans will believe that you're a crazy crackhead by the time you get home. He got on a flight in LA, and by the time he got to Ohio, it was so.
Katt said that Cedric's vague and careful responses only made everything feel even more suspicious. But to Katt, this whole situation was never just about one joke. It was about integrity, respect, and giving credit where it was earned. He believed Steve Harvey and Cedric represented something much bigger. Established stars getting paid off another comedian's creativity while presenting themselves as legends untouchable by criticism. Steve Harvey stayed quiet, refusing to speak on the situation publicly. Some people said his silence showed maturity, but others believed it was a strategic move to protect his image and avoid the truth coming out. Either way, the silence kept the feud burning and made fans wonder if Katt had been right the whole time. Soon, the tension between Katt Williams, Steve Harvey, and Cedric the Entertainer turned into one of the biggest rivalries in comedy history. It wasn't about borrowed material anymore. It had grown into a fight over power, credibility, and legacy in the entertainment game. Katt's refusal to back down only strengthened his status as Hollywood's loudest whistleblower. Whether people believed every claim he made or not, one thing was obvious. He wasn't scared to call out legends, and that made him unpredictable and dangerous to anyone trying to guard their image. Katt's reputation reached a whole new level when people started connecting his name to Dave Chappelle. Both were viewed as fearless outsiders, truth-tellers, who refused to bow down to Hollywood's rules. But their relationship wasn't simple at all. Sometimes Katt praised Chappelle and called him a hero, but other times he questioned whether Chappelle's decision to walk away from that $50 million Comedy Central deal back in 2005 was as noble as people believed. In a 2024 interview on Shannon Sharp's Club Shay Shay podcast, Katt said he respected Chappelle for walking away from that kind of money, explaining that Hollywood pressure can break even the strongest minds. Katt said it took real courage to walk away from something that big, and fans saw that moment as genuine respect, almost like Katt was recognizing another warrior in the same fight. But he also pointed out how rare that type of decision really is, mentioning that he himself had turned down major deals 4 different times just to protect his integrity and stay true to himself. Still, in later interviews, Katt hinted that Chappelle's exit may not have been completely voluntary. He suggested that powerful people behind the scenes may have pushed Chappelle out, saying the industry does not want individuals like them, the ones who won't bend or play by the system's rules. And to Katt, that raised a serious question. Did Chappelle walk away because he wanted to, or was he forced out for refusing to obey the machine? Fans argued nonstop. Some agreed with Katt's suspicions, while others defended Chappelle's decision as a bold act of rebellion. Eventually, Chappelle fired back during a performance at the Hollywood Improv. Without saying Katt's name directly, he sent a clear message. He said that Williams had brought heat toward other comedians, but never aimed at the people who truly hold the power in Hollywood. Chappelle said, "We're comedians. We don't attack each other," pushing for unity instead of rivalry. That moment showed just how complicated their connection really was. Both men criticized the same system, both stood for artistic freedom, and both refused to be controlled. They just fought the battle in completely different ways. Katt believed in calling people out directly, names, faces, and actions exposed one by one. Dave Chappelle thought the real fight was against the bigger machine, not the individuals inside of it. Even with those differences, their messages lined up perfectly. When Chappelle dropped his 2021 Netflix special, The Closer, it sparked worldwide conversations about censorship and creative freedom. Around that same time, Katt was on his Heaven on Earth tour, speaking boldly about exploitation and dishonesty in entertainment. Whether they saw each other as rivals or brothers fighting the same war, they kept the spotlight right where they wanted it, on Hollywood's flaws.
Remember when Kevin Hart said this about Katt Williams?
My frustration with Katt Williams comes from, you keep pointing at Hollywood, the white man, this and this. When do you take responsibility for your action? Me, Kevin Hart, the guy that sits on top right now, have taken advantage of all the money that I have, shot over 56 specials for the up-and-coming generation of comedy. You had the shot. You didn't show up to work. You became a risk to the studio.
What was he a risk?
He chose.
And Katt Williams did not hold back in his response.
The fact that people tell lies. A cat's on. Where are the stories? Why is there no story of anybody who ever sold it to me, did it with me? I got 5 daughters. I got 5 sons. You can't afford to be a comedian and be black and be short and have me as a op. Not just because I'm him, but because you're not.
Even when Katt Williams and Dave Chappelle clashed, the message stayed crystal clear. Hollywood is not what it looks like, and people need to start questioning everything. In many ways, they were two sides of the same coin. Katt fiery and straightforward, Dave calm, subtle, and razor sharp. Whether they stood together or stood apart didn't matter, because together their voices were way too loud for Hollywood to silence or ignore. Katt's whistleblower reputation wasn't only about calling out famous names, it was about standing strong when it came to his craft. A perfect example happened during the filming of Friday After Next back in 2002, the 3rd movie in the legendary Friday series. Katt played the iconic character Money Mike, the flashy, smooth-talking personality everyone remembers. But behind the scenes, he was in the middle of a serious creative fight that most fans never even heard about. In the original script, Katt's character was supposed to be involved in a scene that crossed a serious line, and Katt immediately felt something was wrong, not just for the tone of the movie, but for comedy as a whole. He refused to do it, saying the scene wasn't funny and pushed way past moral boundaries. Because he stood his ground, the script was changed, and that controversial scene was completely removed from the final film. Later, he revealed that the original version had already been approved by others on set, but he wasn't willing to be part of something that didn't sit right with him. That moment proved everything. Even as a rising star, Katt wasn't going to compromise his principles just to get a check. Fans later praised him for choosing integrity over money, showing that he didn't just talk about honesty, he lived it every step of the way. Katt's fight for truth didn't stop with movies. In interviews, he spoke openly about cancel culture, saying it often goes after the powerless while protecting the ones who control everything behind the curtain. He argued that real accountability should focus on the people who run the machine, not the artists trying to survive inside it. In a time when most celebrities apologize just to stay safe, Katt refused to play that game. He didn't care about being safe. He cared about staying real. For him, comedy wasn't just about making people laugh. It was about telling the truth, even if it made powerful people uncomfortable. As he once said, in this industry, whoever pays you controls your narrative. I'm not paid, so I own mine.
Controversy online, I know you don't spend all your time online, about Kevin Hart wearing a dress in the SNL skit. And Dave Chappelle spoke about that. As a comedian, black actors are always, being asked to wear dresses. Have you ran into that? And what do you think about that whole Illuminati theory that people put out there about that?
Well, thanks for that softball question. It's 2 answers. First of all, let's be very, very clear. It is possible that there isn't anything funnier than a guy in a dress. And if that's the case, then it might also be said that there's nothing funnier than a black guy in a dress. Okay, well, I watched all of my friends throughout my entire life be able to dunk a basketball, but not me. So everybody can't do everything. So, some of us make choices. I think it's not a biggest choice for others. I'm saying at the end of the day, Kevin doesn't have to worry about what people are going to say about him wearing a dress because of the long line of
That statement summed up his entire mindset. Katt Williams stood on integrity every step of the way during his Heaven on Earth comedy tour. He blended sharp humor with raw truth, calling out how Hollywood uses talent, twists the media narrative, and rewards polished images over honesty. Through every controversy and every headline, Katt stayed locked in. Whether it meant cutting a questionable movie scene or refusing to fold under pressure, he always drew the line where others were scared to stand. In a business built on compromise, Katt proved he would risk everything to protect his voice and his principles. By the time the 2020s hit, Katt had built a reputation that no other comedian could touch. He wasn't just an entertainer. He was a truth teller who made powerful people uncomfortable. And according to fans, that's exactly why so many celebrities feared him. Katt had made enemies at nearly every level of the industry, and his refusal to stay silent made him unpredictable, which is the one thing Hollywood hates the most. Take Kevin Hart, for example. Even Eddie Murphy once hinted that Hart had every reason to be careful around Katt, a sign of the respect even the biggest legends had for Katt's ability to shake Hollywood's structure. And then there's Ice Cube, who once spoke about why even major figures like Oprah Winfrey seemed hesitant to address Katt directly. Clips started spreading all over social media, suggesting Oprah avoided responding to Katt's accusations entirely. And to fans, that silence said everything about how much influence Katt was gaining. In one viral clip, Ice Cube said, "Just want to address a few things." Ice Cube continued, "You know, everybody's been checking out the internet. My man, Katt Williams."
We might not let you drink anymore the way I mean, we ain't even got.
You mean to tell me if Steve Harvey, your favorite comedian, you've been waiting for him to do stand-up for...
That moment showed how even the biggest stars couldn't escape the ripple effect of Katt's words. Soon, more names got pulled into the conversation. Online debates started pointing at Marlon Wayans and Taraji P. Henson as celebrities who kept their distance, with fans joking that they didn't want smoke with Katt. One comment online summed it up perfectly. "It's not confirmed, but all signs suggest Hollywood's biggest names don't want problems with him."
First I went on Facebook. I typed my name in. They were like, "You cannot use celebrity names." I was like, word? So then I go on Twitter, and it's the same thing. It's like, oh, it's a fake Dave Chappelle. My name, my picture was not me. And it turned out, Jimmy, the guy was like hilarious. Like a week or two into it, he just turns evil. And he starts like tweeting all this stuff to comedians I work with, and starts like a whole Twitter beef with this guy, Katt Williams. That Katt Williams starts saying things to this fake Dave Chappelle that's hurting the real Dave Chappelle's feelings. So I go to the comedy show, and I see Kevin Hart there. I'm like, "What's up, Kevin?" And he's like, "Yo, man, Katt's here." Like I was in trouble or something. Like, well, so then I go over to Katt, and I'm like, "Yo, Katt, I gotta talk to you. I don't have a Twitter page." And he's like, "So what, Dave Chappelle?" He's like, what are you trying to say? And I'm like, "I'm trying to say I don't have a Twitter page." He goes, "So that's not unusual. I don't have a Twitter page either."
And honestly, who could blame them? Katt proved again and again that nobody in the industry was too powerful to be confronted. But while fans celebrated his fearless style, darkness followed him too. In August 2025, tragedy struck when comedian Reggie Carroll, a member of Katt's Heaven on Earth tour, lost his life after being struck during an incident news reports confirmed the suspect was a security guard who had previously worked for Katt. The situation cast a heavy shadow over the tour and reignited conversations about the chaos surrounding his world. Some fans felt it showed just how intense things had become around him, while others pointed out how the media immediately focused on controversy instead of compassion or the human impact of the situation. The headlines weren't about grief, they were about scandal. Still, Katt didn't back down. He called 2024 the age of truth, urging people to look past Hollywood's bright lights and pay attention to the corruption hidden underneath the surface. To his supporters, that only strengthened his image, not just as a comedian, but as a whistleblower determined to expose everything the industry tried to bury. Today, Katt Williams remains one of the most talked about and polarizing figures in comedy, a voice Hollywood still can't control and definitely can't silence. Loved for his honesty, feared for his blunt style, and respected for never folding, Katt Williams stands as one of the boldest voices comedy has ever seen. Whether people fear him or admire him, one thing is guaranteed. When Katt Williams says your name, the whole world stops and pays attention. So the real question remains, was Katt Williams pushed out, or did he walk away from a system he realized was broken? Whether you support him or disagree with him, the truth is undeniable. He has never been afraid to call out the powerful. His journey isn't just about jokes or stages, it's about truth, integrity, and refusing to bow down in an industry built on smoke and mirrors. Thank you for watching Spillhood. If you're here for the real stories behind the fame, the drama, and the exposed secrets Hollywood hopes you never see, make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, and stay locked in for the next spill.